Hi there! You're invited to listen to an exclusive excerpt from the next episode that I'll be publishing on Sunday. My next guest is absolutely fascinating, and this is just a teaser of what you can expect from our discussion. Enjoy listening, and I'll see you on Sunday for the full episode.
Welcome to Finscale, a podcast created by Solène Niederkorn, shedding light on innovation in finance, banking, and insurance.
Investing in crypto via ETPs. Bradley Duke, co-CEO and founder of ETC Group.
When you're creating a fund, it's a very well-worn track. You know, everyone, there's providers, they do it in their sleep. You know, you've got all the various service providers doing what they know how to do very well. And it's a fairly simple process because it's been done so many times. When you're dealing with crypto, it's immediately much more complicated because there is no crypto payment rail in say Clearstream or Euroclear. So the settlement requires a free of payment settlement of the securities going in one direction. And then on a separate payment rail, you have to send crypto, right? So you have to send it through the crypto networks.
It's been a long time since we covered financial markets. This time we deep dive into crypto ETPs. In this episode, I sit down with Bradley, who explained the fundamental differences between ETNs, ETFs, and ETCs. You'll discover that what the ETC Group has deployed is both a challenge from a regulatory perspective and from the back office of an organization point of view. Created a few years ago, the ETC Group already released ETPs and ETFs on various cryptocurrencies and listed its products on various European exchanges such as Xetra and Euronext. We take a closer look at the process from prospectus creation to listing. We also discuss the key role of the providers and especially that of the custodial and liquidity providers. Finally, we dive into the rise of these products that clearly straddle two worlds. I have tried to break it down as much as possible. It's a great episode for those with a key interest in financial markets. Enjoy the show! Hello, everyone. Hi, Bradley. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Before we start, I would like to thank Alan Boulimes, I hope I pronounce your name correctly, for making the intro to you. And it's very interesting because I wanted to deal with ETPs a long time ago. Before we start, Bradley, can I ask you to quickly present yourself?
So my name is Bradley Duke. I am one of the founders of ETC Group, and I am a co-CEO of ETC Group. And yeah, we're a company that came into existence to issue these crypto ETPs that you're talking about. Yeah, that's the basic. That's my intro.
Prior to founding ETC Group, you were working for incumbent players in financial services.
That's right. Yeah. So my career has been in financial services, actually in a few cities around the world. I actually started working in financial services in New York City. I was living in New York at the time, and then I started working at Jefferies, the investment bank. Mm-hmm. And then I moved within the bank to their Paris office for many years, and then to the London office as well, where I stayed and worked as well for Knight Capital, KCG group, and I've worked in financial services and fintech as well. So I did a spell in a payments startup as well, which is actually still going. But my background is traditional finance and not crypto. But I've always been interested in technology, mm-hmm. And especially where technology and finance meets, which I think is what crypto is.
Excellent. So if you've been living in Paris, we could have done it in French.
We could have absolutely done it in French. Je parle français assez couramment, mais quand la conversation est plutôt technique, je préfère l'anglais.
No worry. So let's continue in English.
Okay.
Okay. So ETPs is a broad name. And within ETPs, there are a lot of different kind of products. You have ETFs, ETNs, ETCs, etc. So would it be possible, before we start talking about ETC Group, that you explain to us the main differences amongst all those different products, and why do we need to have ETPs on crypto?
Yeah, so it's a very good question, and it's a question that confuses people because there's lots of these different acronyms: ETP, ETC, ETN, ETF, and really the main answer for this question is that we hear a lot, especially in the press, about having a spot Bitcoin ETF in America, which has been what they've been trying to achieve for many years. To date, have still failed. They haven't managed to achieve that yet. They do have Bitcoin ETFs there, which are futures based. But actually, in Europe, we can't really have a Bitcoin ETF, and that's simply because of the UCITS regulation, which puts a restriction on the kinds of the concentration of certain assets and certain issuers into the UCITS ETF does not tolerate a single asset ETF. So technically, it's kind of impossible to have a Bitcoin or any crypto ETF in Europe. And what we do have, we decided to go at ETC Group to choose the ETC mechanism, which was developed, I think, some 15 years ago for gold. And initially, the ETC stands for Exchange Traded Commodity, and it was developed for people to have direct exposure to gold and gold bullion, and it's an interesting structure because it tracks the underlying price extremely faithfully, and that's because there actually is fungibility. So if you do own the security, let's just say Xetra Gold, you actually own the ETC security. You actually can say, I want my gold, and get a claim. You have a claim on that gold, and you can actually get physical redemption of that gold. And the same thing applies actually to all our ETCs at ETC Group. So our crypto ETPs are physically backed. And actually, people don't really do it, but if they wanted to, they can. An investor could come to us and say, I want the Bitcoin, and then go through the whole KYC AML procedure, and then get the Bitcoin delivered, physically in inverted commas.
Yes, we get it. Now that you've heard an excerpt from the upcoming episode on Sunday, make sure you stay tuned and connected so you don't miss a beat.